everybody. Welcome to the Healing Place Church Daily Devotional Podcast. We are in the book of Luke, and so we're walking through the Gospel of Luke together, and today we are in chapter 12. So let's read these couple verses 13 through 15. It says this, "Then someone called from the crowd, 'Teacher, please tell my brother to divide our father's estate with me.' Jesus replied, 'Friend, who made me a judge over you to decide such things as that?' Then he said, 'Beware, guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own.'" Now I'm going to drop down to verse 21 here. Jesus says this, "Yes, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth, but not have a rich relationship with God." So Jesus is on his public teaching tour, and this guy just kind of interrupts him from the crowd, and he just like, hey, Jesus, tell my brother to split the estate with me. So in the Jewish culture, usually the firstborn would get double the inheritance as the secondborn or the thirdborn. And so what's happening here is apparently there's some kind of dispute between this man and his brother about who's going to get the family land. And he sees Jesus as this moral teacher, this moral authority. He calls him teacher. And he's like, look, this is an opportunity to get somebody with some clout, some influence to weigh in on this situation. And so he just erupts out loud and just makes this request. So I want to point out three things here. One, we're going to see Jesus's role, Jesus's warning, and Jesus's invitation. His role, his warning, and his invitation. First, the role. What's interesting is this man comes to Jesus and he asks this question. Look at what Jesus said. He said, "Friend, who made me a judge over you to decide such things as that?" You see, here was the error. Here was the problem. This man saw Jesus as a means to an end. In other words, in his mind, the goal was to obtain more land more of his family land, and his brother to get less of the family land. And so he saw Jesus as a potential ally. Like, man, if I get this guy, I mean, this guy's doing some healings. He seems to draw a crowd. People respect his teachings. If I can just get him on board with what I'm trying to accomplish, then you know what? I'll be fulfilled. I'll finally be happy. I'll finally get what I want. And see, this is a common mistake that people make all the time about Jesus. They think Jesus is a means to an end, but in fact, he is the end. You see, he comes to Jesus and he's like, Jesus is a way to make me happy and get me what I want. But the gospel teaches us that Jesus must become what we want. Not that he's some kind of good luck charm to get us what we really want. He has to become the center of our affections and the center of all of our desires. Jesus says, look, my role in your life is not to go in and give you everything that you want. I am here to save you, and I must become what you want. I must become everything. So we see Jesus' role. But then Jesus gives a warning. You see, I love this about Jesus. He doesn't just say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to get involved. He goes to the issue beneath the issue. You see, for this guy, what his issue is, man, we got this family problem. We got this family dispute. And Jesus is like, look, I'm going to dive into the real issue at play. The real issue, the real thing going on is not a just monetary dispute over land with your brother. The problem is greed. You see, this is what I love about Jesus. Jesus always goes for the real issue. He doesn't just stay surface level with anybody. You see, this man, he had this greed in his heart. He had this false belief that if I acquire more, then I'll be happy. Or maybe if I acquire more, then I'll be more. And Jesus comes in and he gives him this warning. And he says, your life is not measured by what you own. You see, I know people around you, the culture, they may say that. They may say that the more you have, the better person you are, or the more valuable you are. But Jesus is saying, no, you got to be careful, because what greed does is greed comes in and says, I want more, I need more. And Jesus says, it's too much. But he ends with this invitation and he says, yes, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth and not have a rich relationship with God. See, here's the invitation. Don't go and get more stuff. Go get more God. Don't get more stuff. Get more God. Because you know what? He says you're a fool if you don't. Why are you a fool? What does it mean to be a fool? And that kind of sounds harsh. But what is a fool? A fool is a person who makes bad decisions. Jesus says the best decision that you can ever make is to invest in your relationship with God. So here's the question for you today. Are you after God, or are you after what God can give you? Are you after him as an ally, or is he your everything? So today I want you to do this. I want you to ignore the stuff and just focus on getting more of God in your life. That's the challenge for you today. Hey, look, thank you for being with us today. We'll be back tomorrow.